Mr. Right here, and welcome to this film on Venn diagrams. In this film, I'll run through some IGCSE questions on Venn diagrams. All of these are about grades 7, 8, and 9. They're questions which would appear in the last third or so of an IGCSE paper. You can download the questions by hitting the link in the description, and then you can work through the questions and check your answers against the film. Or, of course, you can watch the film whilst you do the questions. Up to you. Please go on if you find this film useful. Please hit like. Please tell me so in the comments, because that helps spread the word and supports the channel. Right, let's get on with the maths. Question 1. Right, we've got a universal set which has all the integers in it between 10 and 25. But look at this, it includes the 10 and includes 25. I'm going to write those down. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The thing to do is to remember that these longer questions, and this question is worth 6 marks, are really worth spending your time over and making sure that you get them correct. You know you can do Venn diagrams. You know you can get 6 out of 6. And remember, because it's worth 6 marks, of course, you've got more than 6 minutes to do it. So those are all the members of the universal set from 10 to 25 inclusive. Now, A is going to be anything in the universal set which is less than 18. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, not 18. Okay, now B. B is going to be anything in the universal set which is between 13 and 22, including the 13, but not including the 22. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21, not including the 22. Right, now I think I've done all my kind of preparation work. Let's see if we can do the questions. Write down the number of elements in A. Well, A is this red one here, and how many elements are there in A? How many members of A? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. List the members of the set, not A union B. So all of those which are not in A or B. Right, so I'm going to have a look at this red list, of this blue list, and I'm going to write down any of those blue numbers which are not in A or B. If they're in A or B, I'm not writing them down. 10 is in A or B, 11 is, 12 is, 13 is, 14 is, 15 is, 16 is, and 17 is. Right. Is 18? Yes, because that's in B. Is 19? Yes, because that's in B. Is 20? Yes, because that's in B. Is 21? Yes, because that's in B. So the only numbers in the universal set which are not in A or in B are 22, 23, 24, and 25. Okay. Part C. List the members of the set, not A, and they have to be in not A, and they also have to be in B, because this is an intersection here. So they have to be not in A and in B. So let's consider the numbers which are not in A, and let's write down the numbers which are not in A, but are in B. Right, so not in A. Well, not in A is anything 18 onwards. So which numbers 18 onwards are in B? Answer 18, 19, 20, and 21. Those are the numbers which are not in A and are also in B. Okay, right. Now, C, is that a new set? I think it is. C is a subset of A. So every member of C is in A, and C is also a subsection of B. So every member of C is also in B. So if it's in C, then it's got to be in A and B. And there are 5 elements in C. List the members of C. So I'm looking for 5 numbers which are in A and also in B. Let's have a look. Well, it's 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, isn't it? 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. There we go. And that's the end of the question. That was 6 marks. Okay, job done. Question 2. Right. Some students were asked the following question. Which subjects, Russian, French and German, do you study? Right, and here are the results of that question. 4 study all 3, 10 study Russian and German, and so on. Okay, and I've got some information here. The number who study Russian only is twice the number who study French only. So I'm going to have to remember that. Let X be the number of students who study French only. I see X is already in my Venn diagram. Look, there it is. That's the number of students who study French only. Right. Show all this information on the Venn diagram, giving the number of students in each appropriate subset in terms of X where necessary. Right, let's start at the beginning of this information. 4 study all 3 languages. So I can write a 4 in there. Good. Now, what about this statement? 10 study Russian and French. It would be tempting to write 10 here. But that would be wrong, because if I write 10 there, then I've actually got 14 studying Russian and French. And that's not true, because there are only 10 who study Russian and French. So in fact, that number there is a 6. 13 study French and German. French and German has to be 13 again. It would be incorrect to write 13 there, because that would mean that 17 studied French and German. So instead, I need to write 9 here, so that 13 is the total number of pupils who study both of those languages. 6 study Russian and German, so that's going to be a 2 there. 24 study German. Now, would it be correct to write 24 there? No, it wouldn't, because if I write 24 there, then far more than 24 would study German, because all of that lot would study German. So that's a mistake. But if it's going to be 24 study German, well, I can see I've already got 15 of those, which means that 9 must study German only, because the rest of the German studiers also study another language. 11 study none of the 3 subjects. Put that there, right? The number who study Russian only, that's this number, isn't it? The number who study Russian only is twice the number who study French only. Well, X study French only, so 2X study Russian only. There we are. Now, have I done what it said? Show all this information on the Venn diagram, giving the number of students in each appropriate subset in terms of X where necessary. Done. Right. Given that the number of students who were asked the question was 80, work out the number of these students that study Russian. Well, if there are 80 students in all represented on the Venn diagram, then I know that all of these numbers here must add up to 80. So I've got 2x and x, 3x, plus 6 and 4 is 10, 12, 21, 30, 41. So 3x plus 41 must be 80. So 3x must be 39. So x must be 13. Now be careful. What does the question ask me? Work out the number of these students who study Russian. Well, it was 2x that study Russian. So the number who study Russian must be 26. And that is the end of that question for 6 marks. Question 3. 100 farmers, don't forget about that piece of information, are asked if they have goats, sheep or chickens on their farms. Of these farmers, and here's a whole load of information. Using this information, complete the Venn diagram to show the number of farmers in each appropriate subset. Okay, right. This first piece of information says 31 have sheep. It would be really tempting just to write 31 there, but that wouldn't be correct, because here, those are the farmers who have sheep only, who don't have any goats or chickens as well. So you'd be wrong to write 31 in there. When it says 31 have sheep, that means that this section, this section, this section, this section would all add up to 31. So 31 have sheep isn't useful to me at the moment, and nor is 53 have chickens. 6 have goats, sheep, and chickens. That is useful. I can write a 6 in there. 11 have sheep and goats, right? It would be tempting to write 11 in here, but if you were to write 11 in here, that would mean that 17 have got sheep and goats, and that isn't correct because only 11 have got sheep and goats, so that must be a 5. Right, I can tick that off. 17 have sheep and chickens. Sheep and chickens. Here we are, 17, so 11 have sheep and chickens because 6 have sheep, chickens, and goats, so they also have sheep and chickens. 18 have goats and chickens. Goats, chickens, I've already got 6 of them, so 12 must be there. 20 do not have any goats, sheep, or chickens. They go here. Right, well, I haven't filled in everything yet, but let's go back to the beginning, shall we? It says 31 have sheep. So that means that there has to be 31 in here altogether. Well, I've already got 22 of those. So if 31 are in there in total, then there must be 9 here. Good. 53 have chickens. Well, that means that all of these numbers here must add up to 53. Well, I've already got 18, 28, 29 of those, so I'll have to do 53 minus 29, 39, 49, 14. There we go, so 14 comes in here. So now these numbers do add up to the 53 who have chickens. Well, I seem to have used all the information here. I've ticked off every statement, but I've still got some blanks. I've got a blank here. And this is where you have to be very sure that you've used all the information, because I haven't yet used this piece of information at the beginning, that there are 100 farmers in all. So I know that all the numbers in the Venn diagram have to add up to 100, which is going to enable me to work out the number of farmers who have only goats, this number here. So what have I got so far? 5 and 9, 14, 20, plus the 12 is 32. 32 plus 11 is 43, 53, 57, 77 so far. So 100 minus 77, there must be 23 who have just goats. Now I have completed the Venn diagram and I've shown all the farmers in each of the subsets. Find the number of farmers who have goats. The number of farmers who have goats. Well, don't just write the 23 because that's the number who have only goats. There are actually 23 plus 5, 28, plus the 12 is 40. There are actually 46 farmers who have goats. Now what's going on here? Find the number, okay, which are not in G union S. Not in G union S. Well, here is G union S, okay, and we want the number who are not in there. So the number that are not in there are the 20 and the 14, so 34. Okay, right. Now what about this last one? Find the number which are in not G and also in C. So to qualify for this, they have to be in not G and they have to be in C. Right, so let's have a look at the ones which who have chickens who don't have goats. Because the ones who have chickens, they're in C. So this lot are in set C, but we only want the ones of those who don't have goats. So we only actually want these ones. So the answer is going to be 25. Right. Okay. One of the farmers who has chickens is chosen at random. So we know we're dealing with these farmers only. One of those is chosen at random. Find the probability that this farmer also has goats. Well, how many of those also has goats? Well, the answer is that 18 of those also have goats. So it's 18 out of, how many farmers are we choosing from? 12 and 6 is 18, plus the 14 is 28, 32, 43. So 18 out of 43. Well, I can't simplify that. So that is my answer to part C, and that is question 3 done. Question 4, right, 32 students in a class. I bet we'll need that piece of information later. In one term, these 32 students each took a test in maths, English, and French. Okay, and here's some information. All right. The incomplete Venn diagram gives some more information about the results. Okay, so I see in the incomplete Venn diagram, I know how many are here and how many are there. All right, good. Use all the given information about the results, all the given information about the results of the students who passed the test in maths to find the value of x. Right, well, let's fill in the Venn diagram, shall we? So let's start at the top. 25 students passed the test in maths. That means that 25 are in this set in total. Of course, I don't know where they're going to be between these three areas that are remaining, so I can't do anything with that. 20 students passed the test in English. Again, I can't do anything with that. 14 passed the test in French. I can't do anything with that yet. 18 students passed the test in maths and English. That means that maths and English, those two regions have to add up to 18. I can't do anything with that yet. 11 students passed the test in maths and French. Maths and French. Well, again, I can't do anything with that. Okay. 4 students failed all 3 tests. 4. Great. I've been able to sort out that piece of information. X students passed all 3 tests. X in there. Right, that's that information done. Okay, right, let's go back to the beginning. 25 passed the test in maths. Well, I still don't know how to split those 25 because I've still got 2 regions remaining. Okay. 20 students passed the test in English, no use to me yet. 14 students in French, no use to me yet. Let's look at this piece of information here. 18 passed the test in maths and English. Well, if 18 are here, then I've got x in part of it, so the other part must be 18 minus x. Okay, 11 students passed the test in maths and French. Maths and French, so that must be 11 minus x there. Okay, I've used that. Back to the beginning. 25 students passed the test in maths. Oh, wait a minute. 25 students passed the test in maths. That means that all of that adds up to 25. So I can write an equation, can't I? All of that adds up to 25. So I'm going to have 3 plus 18 minus x plus 11 minus x equals, how many was it? 25. Okay, tidy up the left-hand side. 3 and 18 is 21, plus the 11 is 32. Minus an x plus an x minus an x equals 25. So subtract 32 from both sides. Minus x equals minus 7. So x equals 7. So x equals 7. Very good. Use your value of x to complete the Venn diagram to show the number of students in each subset. Okay, so I'm looking at this and filling in this. I know that x is 7, so that's 7 there. Okay, now here I had 18 minus x, so that's 18 minus 7, so that's 11. Similarly, here I had 11 minus x, so that's 11 minus 7, 4. Good. Right, now let's go back to the information that I've got here. So let's just scrub out what I've ticked off and let's start this again. Right, now I know 25 took the test in maths. We've used that already. 20 students passed the test in English. Well, that means that all of these must add up to 20. Well, that's 18 and 2, so there must be 10 remaining there. 14 passed the test in French. Well, I've got 11, 13 of those already, so just one person goes there. And remember, I've got 4 on the outside from here. And there you are. I think I've now completed each subset. Good. A student who passed the test in maths is chosen at random. So I'm choosing from these ones. Choosing from those, how many students are there? 18, 22, 25. So I'm choosing from those 25 students. Find the probability that they failed in French. They failed in French. Well, which of those failed in French? These ones and those ones, they failed their French. So that's 14 out of 25, which I can't cancel. So the probability of that student having failed the test in French is 14 out of 25, and that's 5 marks on the paper. Thank you very much. That'll do. Easy 5 marks, I hope. Question 5. The Venn diagram shows a universal set and sets A, B, and C. Now, be careful. 12, 5, 9, 10, 6, 3, and 4, and 8 represent the numbers of elements in each of those sections. Okay, so we're dealing with the numbers of elements. Find the number which are in A union B. Well, A union B is anything which is in A or in B. So it's all of those, isn't it? So I'm simply going to add up 12 and 10, 22, plus that 11 is 33, plus 12 is 45. Good. All right, next, the number of elements which are not in A and not in B. So to qualify, they need to be not in A and also not in B. Well, these ones are not in A and also not in B. These ones are not in A and they're also not in B. These ones, well, they're not in A, but they're in B, so they're not going to qualify. Indeed, none of the others are going to qualify. So my answer, how many are not in A and also not in B? The answer is 12. Okay, now let's have a look at this. The number which are in A intersection B or in C. So they have to be in A intersection B or in C. So they can be A in A intersection B, or they can be any of these ones, because those are the ones in C. So I'm looking for all of those numbers added up, because all of those numbers are either in A intersection B or they're in C. So let's have a look. 5, 11, 21, 24, 28. Okay, and that is 3 marks for the last question. Right, well done. That is the end of those Venn diagram questions, grades 7, 8, and 9. I hope you found the film useful. Take a moment to hit like if you did, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you found useful and what you'd like to see more of in the channel. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next film.